And we are live. SIYAK live tonight. Southern Indiana Yak Anglers Club. You got me, JT Hickman, and my co-host, the Hammer. What's up, Merlin?
Not much, man. How's it going?
Doing good. You recovered from a weekend of fishing?
Oh yeah, I actually didn't put in as hard a time as a lot of people did, but
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there some serious hours, but that's the great thing about the format with this weekend brawl. Thursday morning through Sunday evening. You fish in the morning, afternoon, after work, overnight, however you wanted to do it. But thanks everybody for joining us for the award ceremony. We're hosting this on the Fishing with Gramps YouTube channel because me and Facebook, whenever I try to live stream something to Facebook, it just completely never works. So I went with the platform that I know I'm comfortable with and I know that everybody can get to and, watch this later if you weren't able to be present. But yeah, we're going to go through and keep this kind of short and sweet because everybody here in Indiana has got a Pacers game to watch.
let's
Well, most
go.
of us anyway. So I know Merlin and I are both Pacers and Braves fans, so we probably have dual streams. But that's not what we're here for tonight. We're here to celebrate another successful weekend brawl. I don't remember what event this is, but we're going to go through all of that and we'll get to the
Event
results.
3.
Yeah, third event. So for those of you who may be watching around Indiana and you haven't fished in a SIYAK event, we welcome you to join us in future events. We are a KBF club. We're one of the clubs that still kind of do it the old ways, where generally we meet on the same day on the same body of water and hammer it out, where it's basically equal competition, same tournament hours, same like kind of the old school way of doing derbs one on one on the same body of water and against each other fishing the same conditions. And so I'm here with our last event's winner, Mr. Merlin, who put the smackdown on him at Patoka and took home. That was your first dub of the season, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, good stuff like that always helps in the angler of the year race and stuff like that too. But we'll get into all that here in a little bit. But let me go ahead and pull this presentation up, and we'll get the award show started. Because again, I don't want to keep you all too long. Now, for you SIYAK members who participated in this event, be sure to stay tuned after we announce the winners, because we've got a couple of prize drawings to go through and do, and we'll bring our esteemed tournament director Matt Kiefer on here at the end of the awards ceremony to kind of go through and do all that and then talk about future events. So not to slow things down, or we just get right to it, we'll go ahead and start the slideshow. And for, like I said, for those who are watching who may not have participated before, this was a 4-day event, started Thursday morning, ended Sunday evening, and Indiana Public Waters. And it was just a complete duke out. However much time you wanted to put into it was up to you. And yeah, it was a pretty wild ride. So let's get right on to it. Finishing 24th, Gavin McNulty with a 17 3/4 inch fish. Um, that's a good fish, even though he looks like he only put up one. But I mean, I would have killed for a 17.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who wanted that.
In 23rd, we had Brett McManus with 48 inches. 22nd, Teresa Oliver with 70 inches. Jordan Potter in 21st with 77 inches. Myself, Gramps with 83 inches. I caught so many 12 and 15 inches. But it was one of those things. Antoine, who was probably a pre-tournament favorite based on the Smash Fest that he's been putting on in the KBF monthly mayhem, where he's sitting at 105 inches. But I had talked to him earlier in the day when he was going to sign up, and he said his spot wasn't on fire like it had been. So, yep, definitely looks like he kind of ran into what a lot of us ran into. But there was a lot of people that ran into some fish. 18th, Tim Dempsey at 86.25. Chris Norman, who started the event with a giant, what would he have, like a 21-inch bass on the first day?
I think it was somewhere around there, yeah.
20 plus to open. I mean, he had everybody sweating day one. So I was like, man, Chris is on just right out of the gate. Terry Frederick with 87.75. Joe Gentry, who we'll discuss here in a little bit because he had the Wicked Baits, Wicked Fast
limit.
He had the first 5 limit, right out the gate. And I was figuring with all the dinks I was catching, I would be in the running for that. But nope, Boggs didn't want to put out for me that morning. And so there we go. Joe Gentry was the first angler to have the 5 fish limit. So he's going to get a $25 gift card to use on wickedweights.com. It's pretty cool when we have a company that sponsors us called Wicked Weights and we get there wicked fast. Then we go back to 14th. Chris Ward with 89.
Yeah, last year's champ.
Last year's champ, yeah. Luis Pardo, 89 inches with a 19.25-inch fish. We're starting to see the bigger fish come in with these guys as we approach the top 10 because when you want to win something like this, that's kind of what it takes is finding those and then finding more of them. Where's my slide button at? There it is. Ryan Becker, 89 inches, had a 20.75-inch fish. Brett Haynes with 89.5. That takes us to our top 10. Merlin, you want to read these out while I click through them?
Yeah, we got Jason Wood here in 10th with 89.75. Then James England also with 89.75, but had the bigger fish with a 19-inch over Jason's 18.75. Then we got Justin Kivett with a 90.25. Had a nice 20 on there.
Yeah.
We got Troy Riggins with another 90.25, but he had a 20.25 kicker to eke out that spot. Then we got the other Hickman, Jeremy, coming in with 91.
Yeah, 91 inches on Boggs is pretty good. He could not get rid of a 15-incher that he had. He was really, really trying to kind of help Boggs, show out a little bit what it's possible to do. And that's still pretty good for a 4-day derb.
For sure. Then we got the top 5 coming up. And
there he is.
Looks like I get to be 5th with 91.25. I went out Thursday and didn't catch anything. Didn't fish Friday. And then I had a good weekend. So
you fished what, 2 different other tournaments on the weekend and then put up those numbers?
I fished Eagle Creek on Saturday, and then I went up to the Tippy, and I was just wanting to have some smallmouth fun and found some nice ones. So worked out.
What was your big smallie up there?
18.5.
That had to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 4th place.
We got John Gittner in 4th with 93.25, which brings us to the top 3.
So I will go ahead and pull in I'll click the slide and see if I can do this without goofing it up. And I will bring in Mr. Matt Kiefer. How you doing, good sir?
What's up, fellas?
So tell us a little bit about your 4-day and how your derb went. I don't think any of us that know you could guess where you were most likely fishing, but yeah, tell us a little about your weekend and how it all went and how it played out.
Well, I live about 15 minutes from Bluegrass, so that's where I was at. Now, I did step over to Loon for about 2 hours in the midst of a regatta that was happening at Bluegrass on Saturday from about, 11 to – I'd had enough of the traffic at 11 o'clock and decided to skip over to the other pit and found, 5 or 6 dinks and decided that wasn't where I needed to be. I was going back home, basically. But at that point, the bite had slowed down tremendously. Coming into this event, I had pretty high hopes and I always do. I have, pretty high expectations. I've won this event a couple times. I've gotten second a couple times. So, it usually works out for me. But, this cold front really put a damper on the fishing, I believe, whether it was just the cold or whatever. But, we had pretty high winds on Thursday, and it was a decent day on Friday, but the bite started to slow, and then Saturday it was bad. I didn't catch any. Well, I caught 2 average fish, no helpers until late in the afternoon. I caught 1, and then Sunday was even worse. If you could believe it, I caught 4 fish all day long. One of them happened to be the 20 that I caught. I just didn't hit any other big ones in the head. I caught, I think 6 over 18 over the weekend. But I spent about 60 hours on the water this weekend. And honestly, I feel pretty good, physically, because my age is showing. But usually, or at least as far as this year has gone, I'm after a full day on the water, I've been pretty sore. But I've held up. So it was a good tournament. Bluegrass shows out again, at least for me. There was a lot of people on the water. I had to share water with, other anglers in the event, and lots of other public, boaters and pleasure cruisers, and there was a sailboat on the water Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was fun. It's my favorite event of the year. I look forward to it every year. It's just it's one of those events where you either put in the time or you get lucky, and you put in enough time that and you hit a few on the head. So, and that works out sometimes too. So
Sounds good. All right, we'll go ahead and throw you in the back, and then I'll bring you back here in a couple of minutes.
thank you.
All right, let me find my presentation again. So Matt with a great 95.25 inch. That's just awesome. So let's move on to second place. Now, the anglers don't know who actually won. The ones that are behind the scenes right now are they know they were in the top 3. So Matt was third, and that leaves us with 2 remaining anglers who I'm sure are anxious to find out where they finished in this back and forth battle. And it was pretty cool. And we have Thomas McNulty and we have Chris Daly sitting in the background, just so you guys know who the final 2 are. So let's go ahead and click the slide and find out who took home the first runner-up. And that would be... Nope, not Matt Kiefer, because that's what Matt won. Matt won $70 for 742. Sorry, Matt made these slides for me earlier, and I'm still clicking through them. And so let's see if this is the one that tells us who came in second place. Thomas McNulty with 97 3/4 inches. So let's grab Thomas and throw him in here. Let's get this presentation out of the way, and he can tell us about his... dude,
hey guys,
97 in 4 days. So tell us about your weekend. How much did you fish? Where'd you fish? Tell us a little bit.
So I did not fish Thursday. I worked my butt off all week so I could take Friday off.
There you go.
So I went out Friday morning, went out to Bluegrass as well out there in Evansville.
Okay.
It's pretty tough fishing. Could not find anything consistent. The only thing that I did find was punching through the grass, and even that was unbearable at times. You'd make 100 punches
Yeah.
100 casts or whatever, and you wouldn't get anything. And then every once in a while you get hooked into a fish. So it took a lot of patience, and I just got into the right ones. So
That's
fished
awesome.
Thursday, got a limit, barely, probably about 7 p.m. had my limit. And then Friday, or fish Friday, got my limit.
Mhm.
Saturday got my an upgrade, and then Sunday I didn't find any upgrades. But I caught several fish throughout the day. They were very few and far between, but yeah.
So was it mostly just a punch bite? I mean, I know that had to wear you out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd get so tired of it, not catching anything after 2 or 3 hours, that
Yeah.
I'd throw a buzz bait or a chatterbait or anything just to change up the motion.
Yeah.
And I did catch a couple fish that way, but they weren't upgrades, so
Yeah.
they didn't help
Gotcha.
me out very much.
Did you not want to share with Gavin?
Oh, I tried to. I mean, we were working together. Every once in a while, I'd call him and check on him when he was across the lake, and I'd be like, "Dude, this is what I just caught this fish on. Put this on. Try this." So,
Did he get a chance to try out his new rod?
oh yeah, he was super excited. He's got a buddy who's got a little pond, like I call it a puddle because you can cast across it. It's tiny,
Oh,
but he
okay.
took it out there once just so he could throw it.
Yeah.
His new chatterbait rod, and he bought a DC reel
There you go.
to go on it, and so he's been begging to go fishing to try it. So this
Oh,
was his
good,
first real
good.
chance to try it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent. So punching was the ticket. A lot of people still, I mean, I've seen plenty of people do it. I rarely do it. But
I
I
don't do
mean,
it. I suck at it.
you really, yeah, I would rather throw a jig around the edge of everything and then sit there. But I mean,
Yeah, when it's on fire, it's probably the best fishing. It's the most fun
yeah,
you could have fishing. But
because I
if
always
it's
try
not
to
on
sucker
fire,
them
it's
up to come
terrible.
up and bite on a frog or something. But yeah,
Yep.
I mean, just I know you have to just sit there and drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up. I mean, just.
Yep.
But I mean, you showed once again that somebody thinking a little bit outside of the box, come up. I mean, again, 97 inches in 3 days, and that's really outstanding. That really says a lot. All right, dude. Well, you're looking forward to the rest of the season?
I am already ready
All
for the
right.
next one.
I'm gonna throw this back up here, and we'll go forward, and we'll go ahead and show you. Oh, because you did also get big bass with the 2175. So that means you get a check for, don't know which one's coming. So $130 for that, for the big bass, and then 256 for the second place finish. So that's really good.
I'll take it.
All right, good sir. We'll go ahead and let you go, and then jump on in. But hey, congrats on the second place finish. That's some really good AOI points.
Thank you,
Congrats,
guys.
man.
Congrats, everybody.
All right, thanks for hopping in with us. All right, and that leaves us with one angler left. Now, Thomas actually takes over the big bass of the year so far for the American Legacy Fishing and Outdoors G Loomis giveaway. So yeah, that 2175 gonna be kind of hard to beat, but it's possible. We've seen it happen. So let's move on back to our slides, which leaves us with our winner, the 101 inch Century Belt.
Only Century one, Mark.
Man, that's incredible. And yeah, let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Chris Daly, and he can tell us all about his weekend. Let me get this big thing out of the way so we can talk to him. Chris,
Yes, sir.
congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So tell us a little about, share with us what you can or want to. We, where you fished and kind of how you caught them and what it took for you to I mean, banging out 101 inches in 4 days.
You've
That is
been
absolutely incredible.
Well, crushing it lately.
Well, I mean, I had good company. I was down there at Bluegrass with Tom and Matt, so we chased each other around, for 4 days basically. I was at Bluegrass Thursday, Friday, and then I went to Loon on Saturday, and then back to Bluegrass on Sunday.
Yeah, okay.
So Honestly, it was a quick start for me. Every morning, when I say every morning, all 3 of my 20 pluses I caught were literally like within probably the first 30 minutes. I caught the 21 and a quarter Saturday right by the boat ramp at Loon, like my 3rd cast.
Nice.
Which was weird because last year I lost a big one right in the same vicinity. And I just thought that might be redemption. It was waiting for me to come back and get it. And I got it. So that was pretty cool. I couldn't touch Thomas's, he let me hold on with the 21 from Friday through the moment he caught his. And I thought 21, that's going to be a good one. And then Thomas got me on that one. And then I got a 21 and a quarter. So, but then Sunday morning I showed up and, I wasn't even going to fish till like probably noon Sunday. I was just whatever I had. I was wore out. My hands are busted up and sore. And I'm like, I'm just going to go over there, see what I can do. I wasn't there 30 minutes and caught a 20 and a half. And I had lost a big one in the same area Thursday or Friday. So very good chance it was the same fish. But, all I did was I drug around for 4 days, and just like I did at Summit, a 4-inch creature bait. That's the only thing I threw.
That's awesome.
A 4-inch creature bait with a 3/16 ounce wicked weight.
Heck yeah.
There you go.
That's what I did. So
that is a very popular technique this time of year because someone I'm very close to this time of year, that's pretty much the only thing that you find in his hand. And I think a lot of people sleep on how well them little things work.
It takes a lot of patience to do it. For, like Matt said, I fished. Well, me and Matt both fished till dark the first 2 days. I mean, I probably fished close to 40 plus hours myself. So, that's a lot of casting and dragging and bumping.
Yeah. Even your like your quick morning starts, that was all on a creature bait, no top water or any moving baits.
Man. That's
awesome.
My first fish of the whole tournament though was on a jerk bait, a 13-inch on a jerk bait. And then I said, I'm done. I picked up creature bait and that's all I did.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was exciting. It was fun. Bluegrass, it never ceases to amaze us. The big fish, as much as they get pounded, they keep biting.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You punched your ticket to defend your title.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, right out the gate, you win the HBK State Championship, and then turn around and come back and win a derb. And that is awesome.
Well, thank you. It's been fun the last couple of years since I got into this, so I appreciate all the guys and mentors and guys share knowledge, and it's a cool sport. When you leave a boat and you start doing this, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, and I talk about it often with people who are, especially they're newer to kayak fishing. That's one thing about our community. People will give you the shirts off their back, tell you everything, take you out, show you around, help you get started, because we want to make sure we're all safe. We all want to have fun. We enjoy healthy competition against each other while we're out there. And, it's the great thing about this sport, no matter what level whether you're fishing locally, nationally, or just poke around and go back and forth for fun. It's a great way to get out and get into a lot of big fish that a lot of people just don't mess with. I mean, I can say from places I was fishing this weekend, boats can't get in there. And so it's nice to be able to tap resources like that and, just give yourself an opportunity anytime that you're on the water to go out and catch a big fish.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's got to feel pretty good grabbing all them points right out the gate. But
is the next slide got his money total?
Yeah, let me I'll add that back to the stage and we'll see. Chris is bringing home a $469.47.
Nice.
So that, along with that cool engraved SIYAK trophy cup, should make for a fun Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I need that money because I literally used every bait I had. And I had to start cutting legs off of stuff to emulate and make it look like what I was using.
That's awesome.
You can run over to American Legacy and restock if you get a shot.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, well, sir, we will let you get out of here, and we'll bring back Matt back in and talk about the rest of the season real quick and do some giveaways, and then let you guys get on with your evenings. But man, congrats again.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Merle.
All right, we'll throw Matt back in here. Get on with the next slide. So there we have it. Chris Daly knocking out all the top studs. So, yep.
What do you think about that? That's when I saw this graphic found on the internet over the winter. I thought, man, this is, it just resembles what we're doing here. And the other day, or I guess Monday, when I was putting the slideshow together, that was the first thought that I was like, man, I got to put some names on here and figure out how to put them on there. So it was, I had to change up the names and the sizes and fit them in there where I could and whatnot. But I think it looks pretty cute.
It looks like you lost a chunk of your shoulder there.
Yeah. That's probably one of them big weights I've been slinging all weekend long. Thomas didn't learn that from just anybody. He learned that technique from me. And he came in rolling the first day, seeing me throwing the big weight around, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad I brought that." So, it's a fun technique, and it's tiresome because sometimes that grass is thick, and right now it's really thick, and I had to upgrade. I had to get my Florida weight out, my 2-ouncer, and slung that around Friday afternoon and into Saturday, and finally slung it off, and so I had to go back and had to get a little get a smaller weight and then add a second weight, the second smaller weight on top of it, which doesn't work very well, but it worked for a few more fish until that bite just completely died out. So
how heavy of a rod are you using to punch like that?
Well, I've actually got a King Angler rod that I had him build for me before he stopped making rods. It's a 7/8 extra heavy.
Okay.
I don't even know what reel I have on it. Some kind of Shimano Corrado something or another. But 65-pound braid. It's a fun way. Now it is tiring, and it's annoying because sometimes you get the grass on it and it doesn't want to come off, and you're picking it off and slinging it. You got grass everywhere, and that sort of thing. But like I said, that bite died. It got slower and slower over the weekend. Saturday, I didn't catch one on it. I caught all mine on a Texas rig creature bait, just like Mr. Daly was throwing. And then Sunday, I couldn't get a bite on that or punching. So I kept hearing things from different people. Hey, I'm catching them on a frog, or even boaters and stuff catching stuff on a frog. So I committed to throwing a frog. I couldn't do it all day long, but I threw it for quite a while, and then I got in a spot where I thought, man, I'm gonna throw a frog up here, and I got one to move, and just about 11:30, and I caught that 20 on that frog, and then I locked it in hard. I don't think I threw much anything else the rest of the day. For like the next 8 hours, I'm throwing that frog around, and I caught a couple more, but they weren't very big. So
very cool.
Anyhow, but yeah, here we go with our rod giveaway. You're gonna spin the wheel of destiny, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
I've got this rod sitting right here behind me, and whoever is lucky enough to take that home is gonna put my spinning reel on there, and it's a I don't know what it's a 7-foot medium, I think.
Oh, I've got one of those coming.
Yeah, yep. 7-foot medium, 6-pound to 12-pound test, 1/8 ounce to 1/2 ounce, fast action.
There we go.
Good all around spinning rod.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's see
that Ned rig for you.
And you said you already removed the name of our previous winner and all of the admins. Is that
I
correct?
did. That's correct. The names I gave you should be cleaned up and ready to go. We're only giving one of these away per angler, or per you can only win one.
Yeah.
And the admins aren't included because we've got some rods from them as well and to test out, and so we want to give everybody an opportunity to take one home if they can.
Exactly. So we want to thank Walton Rods for supporting our tournament series and giving away a rod for each of our tournaments.
And don't forget, these rods are $100. They're $150, but with the code on the in the link, you're going to get $50 off. Well, look at that.
There,
Mr. Joe.
Congrats, Joe.
Wicked Fast Entry is also the winner of our Walton Rods. So
Congrats, Joe.
King of the W's on Memorial Day weekend. Let's go.
I'm sure we'll see him here in a couple weeks, and we'll be talking about that event shortly. I don't know if if we don't see him on that one, I'll certainly find somebody to get it to him. We'll be in that neighborhood, so maybe he can. If he's not fishing that event, he'll run up and grab it from me.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, we'll get that to him. Not shipping this stuff out that we're going to give away. We'll have to hand it off to him. So
yeah, rods are too much of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have our bait hunt giveaway. We'll let Matt talk about that and do that.
Yeah. So bait hunt is something new that came about this year. It's a brainchild of Sam and a buddy of his, Sam Jones, and I know he gave me the guy's name that's helping him. I think his name is Matt, but I could be totally wrong and just misremembering. But something that they've been doing. It's a website, and they're going through baits and testing baits and writing reviews and various other things, and so they just got started, but Sam wanted to do something, and he put these little bait packets together, which I have one right here, and he wrote event number 3, and I didn't even look in it, but it looks like there's a frog and some lifted a frog from Thunderhawk, and a Biz Baits dark spinner bait, and an Excite Baits crankbait, and some Rage Tails from Blues Baits. I don't know what else is in it. I think that's about it. Anyway, so pretty good value, a little bag that we're gonna, give away to, it's just a random, random draw. We call it the Bait Hunt Lucky Catch. So every fish that you enter in the event, whether it helped you in your with your limit or not, you could have entered it. I certainly caught quite a few more fish that I didn't enter, but we're gonna draw that. I've got to pull this entries list up, and
249,
and it's ready to go. So you're just gonna do you can spin the wheel and pick a number between 2 and 249, and
I've got a random number generator up. You said between 2 and 249.
2 and 249. So
all right, I'm going to hit the button. Well, you guys can't see that, but
yeah, we can see it.
The number is
moving.
The number is 84.
84. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll down the list to number 84, and number 84 is a 15.25-inch fish caught on Thursday. Well, actually, it was entered Thursday evening at 10:54 p.m. by Mr. J.T. Hickman.
Hey!
Yay!
All right.
So whenever I see you next, I'll give you this.
Prize.
Get your little pack. So that's funny. That's cool. So I think that's obviously we've got the cup for Mr. Daly right here in my little hands. And then of course Merlin has a couple things for him, or one thing for him, a knife. And then I've got the Wicked Fast coupon for Mr. Joe Gentry that I'll send to him. I'll probably just send it to him digitally, and then I'll hand this to him or whatever he wants. Then I've got Mr. Daly gets, I'm going to cover the number up, but a gift card for $25 also from the Hoosier Bait Company, tubes and such. So we thank them every event. We've got a coupon from both of these wonderful companies to hand out, and we'll get those handed out. And then Merlin also has a prize pack from for Big Bass, right? A couple of tools or something, right?
Yeah, from Ego.
That's right.
From Ego, yes, from Ego Fishing, and Merlin will bring that, I'm sure, to the river event.
Yep, we'll have an Ego Big Bass prize, and then, like you said, we'll have the SOG knife for the winner, Chris.
Yep.
All
So we'll just make sure we remember to bring those, and we'll be ready. And then, of course, I've got a slide up here that notes that Chris Daly is our third angler to punch his ticket to our championship at the end of the year. Of course, just a reminder to everyone: winner gets an entry into the winner of the event gets an entry into the championship, and then the last 7 or maybe more entries. If a gentleman, Joe or Merlin or Chris Daly, wins a second event, they can't double qualify for this championship. So we'll give an additional spot to Angler of the Year points. So basically, wherever you end up in Angler of the Year points, we go down, we start asking if that person, starting at the top, if that person has not won an event, do you want to go? Yes, great. Go to the next person until we've filled up these spots, and so that's how we enter that, and that's going to be over at Summit Lake on September 6th and 7th of this fall here. So that should be a good time, and I think that's all we can talk about there. Let's go on to the next slide. This is our Angler of the Year race after 2 events. So I just kind of threw this up there to remind people what, and this is all, live. It's not live currently because I've got it turned off, but it sits there in Fishing Chaos under the series banner under SIYAK. So you can go see, what your events are. But this is after 2 events. So Joe was in the lead. Then Sam, Ryan, myself, Antoine, Troy, Chris Daly, Mr. Pardo, Jason Wood, and Terry Frederick rounded out the top 10. So our next slide will be after this 3rd event.
Boom.
And after this 3rd event, I've been lucky enough to rise to the top by 5 points over Mr. Daly. So his, win, really jumped him up quite a bit. Joe slid down a little bit. We've got our reigning Angler of the Year, Troy Riggins, sitting with 281. Mr. Ryan Becker has had a couple of good events, and he's at 280. Antoine Hayes, who's he's going to be in this to the end, I'm sure. 271. He's tied with Jason Wood with 271 as well. Now, the way we do the separation for ties in Angler of the Year points is based on your finish, your best finish of the event. So of an event. So your Jason finished, Antoine's best finish was, I don't know what it was, but it was slightly above where Jason Wood finished in one of his best events. So that's how that works. Our Rookie of the Year currently, our current leader for Rookie of the Year, Mr. Louis Pardo, is sitting at 268. So that's awesome. Now, this is his 3rd event, but the Rookie of the Year race is not over by any means. I mean, somebody who's not even fished or not even got any points yet can still be in this because we've got 4 more events to go.
Yeah.
And they're, right around the corner. So we're going to talk about 2 more events coming up that they're coming up next month. And, so, if you're a rookie out there and you want to jump in an event, and you want to get that Rookie of the Year prize, hit up one of us admins, and, we'll discuss it with you and tell you what it is and that sort of thing. But, jump in. Luis does not have this wrapped up by any means. He's got a couple of good finishes and one decent finish, but everybody still has a shot. So I want to just make sure everybody knows that. Terry Frederick with 262, doing pretty well there, and Mr. Tim Dempsey with 254 rounds out our top 10. So this by no means is over. Again, we've got 4 more events. Certainly we're going to drop 2 of them because it's your best 5 out of the 7 events. So that race really starts to change and solidify about the 5th, 6th event, but still could be pretty close until the last event. I know several years ago, Mr. Brandt Sharp and I battled it out till the end, and we ended in a tie. And because of the tie break, the number of wins that I had over the number of wins that he had, I won the Angler of the Year. So, the tiebreakers can come into play, and you've just got to fish to the end and see where it ends up. So,
yep, that's the great thing about the full season battle. You got to duke it out and put in the work.
Yep.
And that's why that Angler of the Year title is so coveted amongst all of the tournament series.
All right, so our next event starts June 1st. This is our month-long event. It's to support Project Healing Waters. So the entry fee is raised just a little bit, and there isn't as much money. Typically, we take out certain things, for every event. Holdbacks for everything, but this is we're going to support them, so we're throwing every entry, $15 from every entry is going to go to support Project Healing Waters, which is the local chapter. They're nationwide, but we're going to send that directly to the local chapter, who helps get veterans out on the water in some form or fashion, to get them healed mentally and physically. And there are people around that can talk to you about that. And I know Walton Rods is a big supporter of theirs. If you're a veteran and you're looking to get on the water and join this Project Healing Waters, I'm sure JT might know about this and be able to get you involved, and Justin Kivett has been pretty involved in that as well. So there's lots of veterans in Indiana that are willing to talk to you and get you out there and get you some, whether it's relief from whatever's going on in your life or whatever. We want you to be healthy mentally and physically, and we're just here to support you. So, but yeah, this is our month-long event. It's going to be presented by Excite Baits, of course, Walton Rods, and Bio-NO Power, and KBF. KBF has been a support of ours. We've been supporting them for years, and so they've provided us with our insurance this year for the events that we needed insurance for, and we appreciate that. This is a public water event, so again, we need you guys to be taking your photos on the water and uploading them I can't emphasize that enough. I don't want to see anybody's fish get disqualified because you've got a Samsung phone or some other goofy phone that doesn't have the GPS turned on your photos, and so make sure you get your photos done and uploaded on the water or close to it, because that way you can be assured there's 2 GPS stamps on there. There's one when you take the photo and another when you upload the photo. I would rather have them both. So, please. Now I don't look at them, but our judge looks at them.
If anybody's got an Android phone and you're having problems with your GPS location stuff, let me know. I resolve these problems for KBF all the time. I have an Android. I've got a document of things I walk through, especially if you get a new Android phone. You have to set your gallery to use Google Pictures, and then that solves your problem, 100%. So if you have any issues, or if an admin messages you and say, hey, we don't have the EXIF location data for your phone, just hit me up on Facebook and I can walk you through the fix, because I do this all the time for KBF, especially in Catch 22. And again, to go back what Matt was saying, even if you're not in Indiana and can't participate in our month-long, feel free to go to Project Healing Waters website and do a donation if you would like. Again, it's another one of those places. If you've ever read the book Casting Forward, or there's a movie also associated with Project Healing Waters where an Afghanistan veteran goes out, and as part of his PTSD therapy, he goes and starts fly fishing with a Vietnam veteran who went through a lot of the same issues. And through that bond of fishing, they were basically able to help each other deal with a lot of their anxieties from life. I'll leave it at that. But again, if you ever have any questions, you're a veteran, a veteran, feel free to reach out to me, my brother, our friend Matt Kreitz. We're all Indiana disabled veterans, and we work in this, quite a bit as well. So I always love fishing this event, whether I suck or not, because Mend the Line. Thank you, Sly Fox. That was the name of the movie I was trying to think of. Because for many of us, this is a form of recreational therapy. It works for us. It works for others that we take out fishing with us. New SIYAK member this year, Josh Christmas, is also a former Army infantryman that's come out and started fishing with us. Just as a quick break from life. So again, if you've got any questions or need any assistance with anything, please feel free to reach out. But great charity to support. And we're 100% in on it. And I thank SIYAK and all the crew for doing a charity event to take time and donate out to such a great cause.
Yep. All right. So, to go along with our month-long, for the last couple of years, we've, we don't usually do side pots for these public water events, but, this team concept kind of hit us a couple of years ago, and we kind of wanted to get into that, and a fun way to do that was just this random team side pot. So basically what happens is you buy your ticket for the random team side pot, and typically our side pots is just a cash only pot, but we do that with a message on our Facebook group, and then hand somebody $5 at the awards, and whoever has the smallest fish or the biggest fish or whatever it happened to be, Mr. Gramps took that one home the last time, but and whatever it happens to be, we hand them the cash. Now this particular time, because of the way we're doing this, we had to do it on here, and so it's $10 from each member of the team. So you're signing up individually, but what's going to happen sorry, the dogs are barking at something. What we're going to do is randomly draw team partners with the Wheel of Destiny at the captain's meeting the night before. So whoever signs up, and hopefully we've so far in the last 2 years that we've done this, we've had even numbers, so it's worked out. But you know, I don't know what we'd do if we have an uneven number. You know, maybe we'd let them fish alone. I mean, if that's what they want to do, we'll have to talk about that.
The lone wolf.
But yeah, so it's just fun, and it's basically your best 5 for the team. It doesn't matter who catches them, when they're caught during the month, whatever. So, you know, whoever's big, you know, and you'll be culling up throughout the whole month. So it was fun. It was last year was a hi buddy, my dog's here. Was a fun event as well. Although you know, I got beat again by Mr. Riggins, who was smashing them in July of last year. So anyway, this should be fun. We want everybody to join and have a good time. It's optional, obviously. So if you don't want to join, you don't have to join. But you know, it's going to be winner take all. So if there's 10 teams, you know, they'll split. What is that? $200. So each member will get $100. So whatever it is, if it's 5 teams that does it, you know, it's 5 teams. So, you know, that's the way it's going to work. But that should be a good time. Well, and basically, you just buy your Chief, stop. You buy your random team ticket at the same time as you buy your month-long ticket, or if you've already got your month-long ticket and you forgot to get the side, or you haven't decided to do the side pot and you want to get into it later, just go back up to your tournament dashboard, go to tickets and add an additional ticket and add that add that side pot ticket. It should be pretty easy. And then basically once we get it done and we've chosen your teammates, then I'll go in and create the teams. You guys can then come up with a team name if you want. Doesn't have to be anything fancy or whatever, but come up with a team name, and it'll be a whole nother leaderboard on that event. So should be interesting.
Excellent.
All right, on to the next one. And of course, like I said, that the first event is the whole month of June, starts June 1st, goes June 30th. Whereas our next event, which it's coming up real close too, or real soon, June 8th. It's our annual trip to the river, creek, whatever. And this year, you know, we typically do a rotation of rivers, and this year is our Columbus area East Fork Confluence event. This is our 3rd time doing this event. You can fish any of these rivers and creeks and etc. The map, there's a map linked in the description of the event, and you can see what the launches are. Those are the launches that you can use. In the areas are marked of where you can go. So we're not changing any of that. That's where it's going to be. So you know, if you can go above those areas, but that's the last launch and the first launch, wherever it happens to be. You know, that's your starting and ending point. So if you want to go upriver on Sugar Creek, or you want to go upriver on Big Blue, or upriver on Flat Rock, that's fine. But you got to come back and come out at that launch, you know, inside of the boundary. So
yeah, that'll be a good weekend to be a river at, because there's on that same weekend IK is doing theirs too on Saturday. So it'll be a fun weekend for the river guys.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's and we will have a side pot for that. It typically is going to be rock bass. So I don't know. We'll talk to it. I know there were rock bass caught the last time we were there. It might be tiny bass, not, you know, like whatever. But usually I like to do rock bass in those because, you know, it's a side catch of almost every creek around here is you're going to catch some rock bass.
Yep.
So, and it should be about spawning time for those too. So they might be pretty aggressive, and they're fun to catch. And they're not bad eating if you want to try to eat some. A couple of years ago, I took a stringer home from the Blue River one time, and like, hey, this ain't bad. So anyway, all right, we're finished for the day. We appreciate everybody watching and joining and that sort of thing. Come out and fish the month long to support Project Healing Waters, and come fish our river event. We appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much and thank you everybody for joining us tonight and everybody tuning in and playing along. And again, if you're in Southern Indiana or nearby, Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois, and you want to come over, if we've got an event that's kind of closer to you, feel free to join us, read the rules. You can find us on Southern Indiana Yak Anglers on Facebook. There's a group and a page, if I've got that right.
Yep.
And and just drop a line to any of the admins, Merlin, Matt Kiefer, Chris Norman, Sam Jones, or myself, and we'll answer any questions you have and help you get started if it's your first time fishing kayak events. But other than that, hey y'all, we'll see you next time.
Thank y'all.